Welcome to Chats Around the Kitchen Table. Harriet, Pippa and Julie will be sharing honest conversations about life, spirituality and whatever wants to be spoken today. We'll be talking about what we do and love amongst the realms of spirituality, life and truth. One common intention to share what has helped us along our path in living a healthier, happier and more fulfilling life. Welcome. Ta-da!
Welcome!
Hello! So we are Pippa-less today.
She's
on a adventure that she will tell us all about next time. So we've got a different view because we couldn't work the camera out, and we've got these. So we were laughing because we were having a bit of a job to sort it all out, and we drew this tarot card, the Five of Swords, just about scratching your head, and that is what we did lots of. Just got this to show you these are the tarot cards we use. And there we go. So, are we doing a card to start with? What do you think?
I haven't shuffled them today. We could talk about how people like to shuffle the cards and spend hours feeling their way to the perfect card, or just take one on top.
So I'm always really impatient when I do tarot readings. I shuffle them and I let the client cut them in half with their left hand. And I say left hand because then normally people are right-handed, so they have to think and then do their left hand. And I let them cut the cards so they think they're joining in. But then I always take the cards out. I have no patience for people going, oh, is it this one, is it that one?
But it is important that they just have to touch them.
Touch them, yes.
Don't they?
But yes and no, because I do online readings and they don't touch them there. So
no, true. So what's a little ritual?
It's a ritual, isn't it? And I think people like to feel they're joining in. But then people worry about what if I pick the wrong card, because there isn't a wrong card, is there?
I was with a group of friends yesterday and we were using the Moonology cards. And I was doing something, making the tea. I was the last one to pick. I just picked the one off the top, and it was Blue Moon, believe in the impossible. And I was like, well, I can't even believe, as Julie knows, in, I don't know, something that I think that I want, let alone the impossible.
Yeah, so there we go.
Right, I've shuffled the cards and I shall pick the top.
Pick the toppy.
Unless you want to cut
No,
them.
you go first. I'm
Right.
worried.
I've got my friend who I saw when I was opening the deck of cards this morning.
So that's the Queen of Pentacles, for those who aren't watching, as we often forget that.
Yes, so Queen of Pentacles, she has a beautiful green head covering and some leaves and trees. Basically, she's adorned with a kind of ivy headdress thing. Beautiful clothes, and I'm obviously ignoring the vibrant bright blue eyeshadow.
Right.
Which
yes.
I never wear makeup.
That's for her seeing eyes, perhaps. I don't know.
Seeing eyes. Yeah. Anyway, Pentacles, money, wealth, energy. Who knows?
Earth and grounding.
Earth and grounding. The Queen is about her world, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In the world, maturing in my little journey. I'm not quite at the King of Pentacles.
So the thing is, the Queens are anyone over 30. I always say that.
I think I'm over 30.
If they're over 30. So I think that is about you maturing into who you want to be, isn't it? And it would imply in a tarot spread that you are there, but it would depend on the placing, wouldn't it? But yeah.
But very connected to the nature.
Definitely that, yeah. But also the growth, isn't it? About allowing growth. Because I've changed what I want to do several times, and I think that is not ever fixing on one plan. But sometimes we have to have a plan, and I think maybe that's, as we were talking about earlier, sort of where do we focus on, isn't it? And do we want to be seen and all of that?
What do we want to be growing?
Yes, what do you want to be growing?
But I do recognise that I've spent the month of July wandering around the English and Irish countryside, and I just love being outside.
Yeah.
I love being outside, I love being immersed in the greenery, the hills, the views.
And you're with family as well, weren't you? And that's really amazing to be so grounded like that, isn't it? Yeah.
I wasn't in fact with family in Yorkshire.
Oh, not in Yorkshire. The dog. Well, Pip is your family.
Pip is nature and family. She is an ascended queen from another dimension, I'm sure. Teaches me lots, but yeah.
But it's it's about, you know, we want to do work, and we're going to talk about that today, but actually your work is on yourself, isn't it? You know, the Reiki thing is do your work with appreciation, which is the work we do on ourselves, and you taking that time out to share your time with family and being in nature on your own, because that was a sort of first for you, wasn't it?
That was a first for me. Yeah, you kind of...
But that's growth.
Filling yourself up, and just, like you say, it's that naff phrase, being on a journey. But it is what we're doing, isn't it? We're getting older, and I'm, you know, really considering what it is I want to do and what it is I'm able to share. What am I here to share? What are you here to share?
But I think sharing that you can take time out, I think that's a huge thing. I know several people, you know, I used to work in a travel agency years ago. I used to design the brochures. That's why we used to do cut and paste. Used to have like literally a board, and you'd cut and paste bits out with sticky tape, you know. Then you'd the old Giuseppe and, you know, reel them off and make a book and send it in the post. God, how old is that? But people used to come into the shop sometimes, and you'd hear them, and they'd say, like, this would be like January, oh, we're booking a holiday for August. And I said to this family, I said, don't forget you've got 7 or 8 months to go before then. Oh yeah, we're just waiting for our holiday. And isn't it a shame that the only thing they were living for was their 2-week holiday? Well, it's about living all the time, isn't it?
That's really interesting you say that. I remember Helen used to live next door, and it always stuck in my mind how she said how people live their whole lives for that 2-week holiday, and then on that holiday they live like kings and queens. She said, I prefer to like not go on holiday, but live like a micro king and queen every day. And I think we do a lot of that, don't we? With our work, is about bringing that sense of what it is that you need, or that you feel that you need to go on holiday for, bringing that into your everyday life. And how can you do that?
And on that, because obviously it's nearly a year round I've lived at Ranworth now, because on Saturday it was the beer festival in Ranworth, and that was that day last year we went and viewed the house. And we actually had a meal in the pub and thought, it's not very beery festival-y. Then we walked round by the church and saw the beer festival going on at the village hall. We didn't know anyone, I would have felt awkward going into that, but this year of course we knew a few people. But it was amazing, it was lovely to be there, but I still feel like I'm on holiday, you know. We just bought a kayak.
Yes, I saw that.
And it's lovely, and we worked out that Simon has never paddled before, so he's got a stronger left arm than his right arm, and you can imagine what that was. So we were going round in circles, but because I've canoed before, albeit a single one, a canoe, kayak, I'm never quite sure, but because of my massage hand of old now, I didn't want a single one because I know it gets painful anyway. But it's like absolute bliss. And this particular, the first night we went out, there's lots of people about, very embarrassing trying to navigate boats. But this heron literally flew in front of us and sat on its nest. And I don't know how, I'm not good with distance, but it was not far. And we're just watching it. And my jaw was open. I just could not believe that I was that close on this body of water to nature. And it was just, went past some little ducklings and a mummy duck, and it was beep, 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 calling the ducks because they were getting a bit separate, and there's a little swan there. It was just amazing. That was literally like an hour. So I think it's looking for moments of holiday, if you like, in your day, isn't it? And it's that pockets of happiness.
It's very calming going on the water, isn't it? And when we go paddleboarding, it's always such a struggle to like pump the thing up and lug it to the river, and you're like, what are we doing? And then the moment you get on the water, it's like...
Something happens, isn't it? Yeah. So this one we've got, it's got a wheel at the back, but it's a solid plastic one. And we wheel it from our house, past the pub, past the cafe, and Sunday night there's lots of people there. But the noise it makes, it sounds like a fleet of motorbikes. Everyone was going, and all shouting at us, and it was a bit embarrassing. Dogs were barking. Sort of like, ooh.
So can you get out of the Broad, or would you just be going round?
Oh, well, we can get out on the Broad, but to start with, we just did like the circuit. I think we just need to get used to it.
And how long did that take?
It was an hour. Well, we were out for an hour, so we take it down there. But Simon has now ordered a trailer with soft wheels because it's just so embarrassing. It's really loud. It's like insanely loud, and so yes, to quell our embarrassment. Although, you know, to be fair, people just think, they're going for a canoe ride, you know, it's lovely.
Take up space.
I know, but that's funny. But yeah, so I think coming back to the Queen of Pentacles, it's not necessarily related just to work, it's about the work on yourself, and maybe we don't always appreciate that.
But also, I rented my house out.
Oh yes.
So I was away, but I was earning money, and it was the easiest money I've... Easiest money.
But why not?
I mean, I know I'm homeless, but it's the easiest money I've earned in a long time. And Claire, who's a brilliant cleaner, comes and helps
Yeah.
because I do
So
not
you cut
enjoy
down
cleaning.
that bit, yeah.
So I do the beds and I'll do like organising all my rubbish and my stuff out of the way into poor Florence's room, and I lock the door and throw away the key.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and people came and they loved the house,
and they would do because they're having a holiday
in Norfolk. The sauna didn't get used; got used once, but it's so hot.
Matter, yeah.
So hot. Who'd want to go in there?
Yeah.
So maybe that's also because it's the Queen of Pentacles. It was about how do you earn your money?
How do you earn your money? Yeah.
Always thinking that it's.
Well, I think as well you have to work smart for your money, and that is a smart move, isn't it? And it's not for everyone. I mean, I wouldn't mind people being in my house. I don't have a thought about that, but I know some people they would be very protective of that, wouldn't they? But if you're happy with that, why not?
I don't think I've had a bad experience yet. Maybe if I have a bad experience, but
you're renting out for like families to come, aren't you? Really, if it was a group of perhaps a stag party, you might readdress the situation. But it is about working smart for your money, and I think I feel really blessed that I don't have to do a 9 till 5 job because I've spent years doing that, and I feel really blessed that I don't have to. For lots of reasons, but it's about working smart for your money, isn't it?
Yeah, and maybe not always thinking that money's going to come from hard work.
Oh yeah, well that's what my husband believes, and he works hard, but I let him get on with that. It's his belief. Okay, my tarot card. Wow, well I love this one. It's the 3 of Wands, and this particular picture is a young lady standing looking out to the sea, watching the surf. Now obviously this is my daughter Sophie because she does live in Australia.
Sophie.
And I have a picture of her, and she's literally doing this. She's just looking at the waves, wondering which wave to take. And I just think, what wave do we want to take? The 3 of Wands is all about action. We have choices, and we can choose. Like there's 3 wands, isn't there? So there's 2 sort of standing still, and all have flames on them, and there's a 3rd one down there. But we can choose what we do. But how blessed to know we have that choice, and perhaps we've forgotten that sometimes, that we have that choice.
Yeah, I think also maybe it's the actions that are important. What you said, I spend a lot of time with my thinking and my thoughts, but really it's the actions that matter, isn't it? It's like how are you driving forward to what you want and what you're trying to create, and that is done action by action. Thing
is though, even thinking is action, isn't it? Because you are at least thinking about it, so don't undermine that. I think that's valuable.
But I think you can get caught up in thinking that if you spend too much time thinking the wrong thoughts, that things won't happen. And actually I think I now feel more that it's about the structure that you're in, and the structure involves you taking actions. And I'm guilty of not taking actions. You very kindly.
Yes, that I like to point out occasionally. I don't mean it in a cruel.
No, but we're all learning, aren't we? But that is it, isn't it? I fail to take actions sometimes when.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a Father Christmas one. Have a
tea.
cup of tea. I've got my Father Christmas mug. Yes. Have my Christmas one, But again, it's about not just waiting for happy occasions. You can have a Christmas mug in July or August. We are now.
You can be happy like your dog.
Oh, your dog,
just naturally
always
happy. Doesn't have to do anything or take any actions or think any thoughts.
But I think with actions, I know we both know this lady, Sarah, and I'm sure she won't mind me referring to her. She's now made changes in her life.
She has, and how smiley was she?
And she said, thing is though, she often has a reading with me, or we do healings, but she wanted to know when this next bit was going to happen, because the bit that she's sort of intermediary. And I said, there's no definite, because time is an illusion anyway. But I said, but you'll know. When you know, you will just know. And it is sometimes allowing that to feel a bit grumpy, to feel a bit out of sorts. And then when that feeling lifts, that's what it is. A bit like when you said, I'm going to rent my house out. That suddenly felt right, didn't it? Yeah, and then I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. And sometimes it is listening to that good old intuition, isn't it? How do we know to listen to it? Yeah.
It's always for me about listening to your intuition, but your intuition can tell you to do crazy things that your thoughts don't agree with.
Yeah.
So then what do you do? Yeah. And it's learning to discern them, which one's going to take you.
And sometimes you may make a decision, like you may book a holiday and it may not be what you thought. Doesn't mean it was wrong. Just means that you've learned that may be not what you want to do. So
I could talk about this longer because having got myself to Yorkshire with my dog and arrived in my solo accommodation, nothing felt right at all, and it was just anxiety.
It's unsettling.
The dog was going to bark and disturb the person next door. What was I doing? I had no way of knowing where I was going. I didn't have any my phone didn't work
Oh
in my
yeah,
room.
they're lovely.
All of that. Had to go everywhere, including the shower and the toilet with my dog, because if I left
Challenging,
it
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But give me 2 more days.
Yes.
I just thought, right, I think this is just you feeling anxious, and
Yeah.
you know you've not done this before. Give me 2 more days.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, I have had such a great.
But it's
But I
recognising
would
that,
have gone
isn't it?
home on the second day had I acted according to my feelings and what they were telling me, which is why sometimes if you can quieten that and access your intuition, I don't think. But it's knowing what's your intuition and what's your thoughts.
What's your anxiety?
Feelings.
And I suppose it is just that measure, and I suppose it's sometimes just doing it. So the funny thing is, talking about this kayaking, because Simon likes to give very clear instructions, which I say he's shouting, but he says he's giving clear instructions. But anyway, I said to him before we went down the water, I said, if I don't do what you want me to do immediately, don't get angry. He said, I don't get angry. I said, that's what I mean. And he's not angry because we don't argue, we never do. But the thing is though, he's used to commanding and getting things done. I said to him, we just need to be calm about it. And if I don't understand, just tell me again. And it is that daring to say that. And for me, that was that daring to say, please don't shout at me, because he's not shouting, but that's how I hear it. Yeah. And then that sets a reaction off in me, my anxiety. Yeah. And then I think, oh, I'm doing it wrong. Well, I'm not doing it wrong. We're just doing it differently, aren't we? So it was quite amusing because he had to launch it in and out of this, I don't know, whatever it was, a very bouncy, wobbly, I don't know what you call it, like a little water bit that they have on there for you to get your canoe onto.
Okay, that, yeah.
I want to say pontoon, I don't know what it's called. But anyway, pontoon, no, I don't know. But once we did it, it was fine. And once we got out and away from all the stress of getting past everything, and it was giving it that moment.
Like the paddles, have you seen, if you've seen the people, the mums who are on holiday with their 3 kids, like down at the mill, and she's opening the car door, the kids are bouncing out, she's got to get the paddle boards out, she's got the picnic, she's got everything, and she just,
it's chaos.
I just really feel you've got to get it all together, and then when you get on the water, none of that matters. But when you're in it, you're like,
But the bit that people post, this is the Instagram danger, isn't it? They post the idyllic bit where you're drifting along, don't they? Not the shut up, stop doing that bit that goes on before.
Or the moment where you realise that you can't control everything, you can't organise everything, but none of that's the point, is it? The point is to get on the water.
Yeah, to do it.
And to just keep your mind on, I'm getting on the water, and then let the rest of the stuff take care of itself and don't get involved in it.
Yeah, it's about not joining in with the chaos, I guess.
The chaos is usually
it's in your head, that is for sure. Yeah. So we have a little list of conversations, and so Harriet and I did the gong bath at Fairhaven last week, wasn't it? And it was an outdoor gong bath.
Yes.
And we had 26 people here, and it was bliss.
It was really warm, really warm. It was one of the Wednesdays, wasn't it, when it got to like 30. So we were sort of suggesting to people, come out, because some people go out in the evening now, don't they?
Yes.
Because it's just too much in the day. So do something, save your energy for the evening. And people came out, and a few people had come around the gardens before. We didn't recognise. There were 2 people that had come from the previous year, came in the back door, and upset the lady who had a very organised ticket system.
Yes.
Bless them. We'd had fun getting your van turned around.
Which I have scratched all the side of against that. I know.
Who noticed?
Simon. I didn't notice it. He said, what's happened to the van? I was like...
What, on the underneath?
No, on the side. All down the side.
That was when you were leaving, I think.
So
Julie is very skilled at moving her van.
I was too close to this flipping spiky.
But
he does feel they'll polish out with a lot of polishing. He did that.
Are you going to be doing that?
No, he will. But
anyway, I guess that's like the paddleboarding, isn't it?
Yeah, it was all that moment.
We've taken our stuff.
Yeah.
We have to go round the back, up this little lane, past this little house, and we have to go in the back gate to get to this glade. And the trees are just
insane,
gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
There's a little clearing, isn't there? And we set up our gong bath there. The sun set through the trees over the water.
Over the water,
at the end of the gong bath. And
like a bliss you couldn't have painted if you tried to.
And my friend Judith who came, left really quickly at the end.
Okay.
She wanted to go and have a look at, see if she could catch the sunset.
Oh, I see.
And she said, I'm not a very good photographer normally, and I just use my phone. And she hasn't got the latest phone at all. She took the most gorgeous pictures of the sunset over the water there, because they go swimming there.
Yes.
So she had a lovely time. And there was a whole group of people.
Well, we had a couple with a dog, and it was a I want to say a collie dog, wasn't it?
It was a I don't know what to call it.
Anyway, it was
Remember
lovely.
Lassie from the films that used to make, I used to sob and sob and sob.
But to start with, the guy was covering the dog's ears because they were quite close to me, and then the dog was sort of like pulling its head away, and I think the guy realised it was all right because it was a mum, dad, and a son. I think we worked out, but the son was a grown-up son, and he was like just completely ignoring it, and mum was head back, eye shut, and it was just the dad who was being a little bit not fussy, but he was worried, wasn't he? But the dog lay down. It was great, but it was just blissful. But there was quite a few people sitting up, and I think with the outdoor gong bars we seem to get a lot more men to that, which I always quite like. There was these two guys there, and they said they were watching me as I play. They said, you seem to play that really meditatively. And people always ask this, do you practice, have you got like a method? And I said, to be honest, no, you just play what you feel, and it is really that feeling, isn't it, and listening. And I can't really hear what you're doing, so I'm just doing my thing and you're doing your thing, and it is just like a magical dance, sort of picking up the different flumies and the gongs, but everyone at the end had such an amazing time.
They wanted to share their experience. I mean,
we were there quite a long while afterwards, weren't we?
I know we invited that, but it was interesting, particularly, like you say, it is interesting to hear what the men say. And you said they all knew each other, they'd come from the men's camp.
Yes.
So they were already interested in sort of mental health and well-being projects for men. But you know, was it anything like they expected? I sort of asked them, and I think that I got into one conversation with one of the guys, and he was saying how he was surprised that the sound kind of resonated with. It wasn't about thinking. That's what a lot of people say, don't they, when they come to a sound bath. It isn't about quieting the mind or trying to. The sounds just do that for you, and then it's some kind of bodily experience. Mind, body, and some people journey and do all sorts of imaginative things, don't they? So it's that spirit, I suppose. Yeah,
some people just literally go to sleep. That would be me, but not when I'm playing, I have to add. But I've never done that yet.
And then every gong bar's different. Like I come to your gong bars, sometimes I fall asleep, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I take what you're saying from that initial meditation. And I think very often you suggest having crystals in your hand. I love that, and that usually gets me going to somewhere, or going on dragons. So and it can be so many things to so many different people. And I remember saying to the guy, he asked me how I got into the.
Oh right, did he?
And I remember saying, well, I just went to the halls one day. A friend had said, hadn't taken anything with me to lie on. Massive sleepover vibes as soon as you walk in. The people were friendly, so they gave us something to sit on. And I just thought it was really otherworldly. It's not like I had like some great epiphany and thought, oh, this is what I want to do. I don't think I thought that.
No, I never thought that.
But then over time, now I would say that the gong it is the gong more than the crystal.
It draws you in, doesn't it? Yeah.
I've thought it just resonates in my chest. It's just weird.
It makes me sit still. Because originally I'd play 4 at once, and I used to stand up and I'd walk along like some great band master, and eventually it went up to 2 because I can't lift the flipping things anymore. And I just sit there, and I love that I can see the vibrations, one playing off the other, and it's like they're singing to each other. And and sometimes there's a particular action that you do. I don't know what it is if I'm doing it, but I don't know. You sort of put the flumey around it, and it starts to cry, wow, and then just hit the middle. It goes, and it's just you can literally see the sound waves coming off, and just this vibration. I just feel I'm disappearing into that.
I think when you can't see Julie, her hands are going outwards. I think it's expansive. That's how I would say it is.
And it travels. But even that lady with the dog, she said, is any of it recorded? I said, no, we are actually playing all of it. I said, do we record? Oh no, she said, is there like a recording somewhere?
Yeah.
I said, and we get that asked all the time. Yeah. Literally, it's because I don't think people imagine that a gong, which is like a symbol, like a massive metal symbol, that it makes all those different noises. No. But some of the eerier sounds that we make, and when people think they're eerie, they sound like dolphins, don't they?
Yes, or ship's hulls.
But I know there are some filmmakers that use the gong as a soundtrack to horror movies, or like moments of suspense, which I think that's why that conjures that up. But we also use the crystal sound bowls, and I think they resonate really well outside. We've got the whole chakra set we use there, and it does fill the space. And I think some people, all gong is too much. I think they like the transition of the two. But Harriet plays this lovely little thing at the end, and it's got 3 chime bells on it. she forgot to
Ding,
take
ding,
out the little hitter, little beater. And she was going, well, I don't know where it is. And we tried another rubber one, didn't work. But to me, when I come to your gong bells, that's like that ding, 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 ding. I just love it. It's like, it's coming to the end.
Aww.
It's funny, isn't it? I think this is the thing when people go regularly, you get used to, like at the end, I do my not koshi chimes. Tincture bells. And it's just that people know then it's done. It's just like a ritual, isn't it? Yeah.
But people were very curious about how the sounds.
Yes.
Quite a few people you were showing people having a go.
It's good. It's interesting.
So we do have another one at the end of the month.
Yes, the 26th of August.
That'll probably be we might get one in September, maybe.
I don't think they're planned for that.
They're not planned. So that's the last.
But we will have another outdoor one in November, albeit in a marquee, but that will be like an outdoor.
You said that was part of a fair, is it that they're doing?
No, that's not part of it. They're having a fair and the marquees will still be there. That's why they said we can use them, But on that, we'll talk about what we're doing later, but Shelley and I are doing an outdoor gong bath on Friday at Ingham Village Hall. So, But anyway, we can talk about that later. But you were going to say about so leading into that, people often want to know, what will a gong bath do for me? What is that all about? How will it help me? And I suppose the guys who were interested in the mental health bit, what does it do for people? I suppose for me, we're talking about mentorship and coaching, because I call mine mentorship, Harriet calls her work coaching, and it is more or less the same thing, but both of them, neither of them are designed to change people. It's about aiding them along the journey they choose to take. Would you agree?
I would. And I think a sound bath for me is a great way of breaking up your kind of habitual ways that you think about things, because it just doesn't fit in with anything normal.
Yeah,
it's a sort of different experience, isn't it? And anything that you can have that's a different experience just opens up your curiosity and your willingness to look at things, I think. And I think maybe your mentorship and coaching is about that. It's about opening up what you're prepared to look at, how you look at things, what you're willing. Yeah,
because we change over time. I mean, when you're younger, obviously you go to school, that's what you do. I think that's changing now, because not everyone does that. Do they have all the different types of school? But for like our generation and the last sort of 20 years, I guess, you go to school, you go to work, and then what? And that was a great epiphany for me. I think I had my first daughter. I don't know, she got to about 5 or 6. I had a second one, but then I thought, is this it? What is my life? It's not because I was unhappy, but I just thought there must be more to life than just this. And that is, I think, the sort of the turning point when I started. I was 32, classic age, discovering what do I want in life.
I think that's interesting what you say about wanting more. I think that is a common thing that I see in a lot of people that are interested in spirituality.
Yes.
It's like, is this all there is?
Yeah.
What else? So do you think there's something in us that is innately like,
well, I think,
what else, what more, like what's really going on here?
Yeah, because I like my theories about the chakras that build up over the years, and there's a bit on my website about that if you're interested, about how the chakras build. And I know the age is like when you get to your brow chakra, you start thinking, am I where I want to be? Have I done all I want to do? And all of the rest of that. And that is sort of, I forget the age, up to 42 age, I think that starts to trigger in, but just 7 years before that, sort of 35 to 42. And maybe it is that we decide that we don't want to do this rat race thing, and maybe we're sold something that we don't want that. Where do we want to be? And it's that, then what? So I suppose like for me, when people like come for Reiki, and I had 2 people the other day, and they couldn't have been more opposite, these ladies, level 1, which I do think is about the self. And the perfect thing about that, and I know this lady won't mind me saying because I asked her, I said I might talk about it. So one lady was full of worries about everything. She had twin daughters, one of whom was not always very well, constantly worried about everything. The other one, she said, I've never been a worrier. She said, and I was with a really lovely partner for 3 years, and then one day he just died. She said, I didn't know he was going to die. I wasn't worried before. So she said, I realised that worrying is a pointless commodity, because worrying doesn't make things happen or stop things happening. And this other lady with the children who worried, she went, yeah, worrying isn't going to help, is it? Okay. And it was like a big epiphany. And the thing is, how do we stop worrying? And I suppose that is one of the questions, is about setting it in your mind that it actually doesn't help.
Yes, but it's a natural behaviour.
A natural behaviour, isn't it? Yeah, it's like limiting it.
Yeah, because it's living in the future, isn't
Yes.
it? Like you're buying into thoughts about things that haven't actually happened yet, and you don't actually know how they're going to happen. But if you worry about them, they're probably more likely to happen because you're then focusing on them, and that's what then you end up, So it is a bit of a mind game. But yeah, these friends that I was with yesterday, a few of them were talking about how children are grown up, and we were talking about emptiness.
Emptiness syndrome.
Don't think we talk about that enough, but anyway. And how much they worry about their older children. Yeah. And I've never really been that much of a worry. And I ended up feeling guilty that I don't think I do worry that much about my children. But that's also because I recognise that it's not my, worrying doesn't help, but also they're grown-ups. It's not my life, it's their life.
Well, my theory on that for me is that I think I've given them the skills to enable them to live their lives well. That is what I truly believe that, because both my children grow up and live away. But when I have cause to worry about one, then I put my energy into thinking about how I can help them.
Yeah, so that's care and concern,
as opposed to worrying.
It's not the same thing as catastrophising and thinking that the world's a bad, nasty place and bad things are going to happen. Because let's face it, bad things happen whether you're good people or bad people, or whether you think good thoughts or bad. That's just life.
You can't help that.
And yet we have this innate kind of thing where we try and resist that and try and think we can control it, and we just...
But as humans, we are meant to live in communities or tribes where we would all look after each other. And the point of when our children leave us, they are well away from our pinny strings, and we have no control over that. And actually, that's not natural. We're used to, back in the day, in the tribal days, that we would always be someone looking after them somewhere. I don't think it's wrong that they travel, but I know my Aussie daughter, after some of her travels, like in Mexico, she'd tell me the things that happened, and that's why she didn't tell me at the time. It was eye rolling. But she was always safe or not, but she survived, didn't she?
Yes.
And that's the adventures that you have when you stop worrying is incredible.
Yes.
And that's made her very resilient.
And I think that's such a beautiful example of how our lives go from being an adventure, where you know that the aim of the game is to go travelling and come home eventually, but the name of the game is to have fun, and if you get into a scrape, that's part of having fun. It's just part and parcel of what happens, isn't it? Whereas you come home and you settle into adult life with children and job, and suddenly life becomes an experience, something that you're like, it's no longer an adventure. You try to control the things that are going to go wrong. You try to invest time in getting more, and
getting it right. And I don't know there is a right really.
And the adventurous spirit is much more free, and I think the rewards are...
immense. Well, I know when Sophie first went travelling, and she was a little bit naughty, she was 19, backpack on, assured me she was going to meet with this camp, which turned out not to be true. She was just had someone meeting her at the hostel, so that was a bit of a story, but there you go.
Is that what she told you?
That's what she told me. She told me that she was
to manage your worry.
Yeah. And I wasn't particularly worried, I suppose she just thought that was the best thing to say. But I said to her, if you get in a muddle when you're out there, please don't ring me. I know nothing about Australia. Ask someone who's standing closest to you. And she said that was the best bit of advice I'd ever given her. And I think she probably rang me twice in all the time she was away, when she was in a little bit of a muddle, but mainly emotional muddle, not lost. But because there's no point ringing me saying, Mum, I don't know where something is, because I don't flipping know, do I?
So isn't that a great analogy for consulting your thoughts and feelings for when you don't know what's going on in life, which is point you to what you've already done in your life and what's worked for you or not worked for you before, versus asking your intuition, which is the adventurous side of yourself, but will be connected, I am sure, to growth potential. Whereas we spend a lot of our time trawling through our thoughts, trying to think it, overthink it, trying to work it all out, and that doesn't actually help, does it?
And most of our thoughts are about wondering what other people think. I know that's a common, or what, like me taking the canoe or the kayak down, what will all these people think about this noise? And actually they're just thinking, well, hey, they're going on an adventure. And here we are sat at a pub drinking,
And that's about unlearning, isn't it? And about discarding that we talked about this yesterday. We should have had our podcast and maybe you should come yesterday. But again, we talked about how healing for me is about discarding those things that aren't really true to your essence. They're things that you've taken on.
Yeah, all of that.
Things that you think you ought to, should do, things you do for other people.
And I suppose part of the mentorship and the coaching is people know me about, I point out the bleeding obvious, and
Yeah.
I'll say, but is that your thought, or is that because you think you should? And I will challenge why people think they should do something, and they think, oh, I've never thought of it differently. And I think that's one of my skills, is that I get people to see it differently. Not because I think I'm right or they're wrong, but have you thought about what if you didn't think like that?
Yeah, and you are really good at that. You really are.
My
very good
pokey
at that.
finger.
But often we're not. It's the awareness, isn't it, which comes
being
back
aware.
to the sound bath. Like, I think in the sound bath you can become aware of things that you aren't previously aware of. But without that awareness, you just think it's normal. You think it's truth. You think it's just
like
how
people
it
sticking
is.
at a job because they think, oh, classic. I worked at the hospital. There was ladies there, and we've got 10 years left before we retire. I'm like, what on earth? And the classic was, a lot of them, they would retire and they had no friendships where they lived, no groups that they went to. They came back to work. I couldn't understand that. I'm thinking, well, surely you'd be better off in your 50s, obviously money dependent, to perhaps work less, hours, and start to find groups you like, or hobbies or interests, getting ready for when you're not at work anymore. But I think for some people, they just think work is all there is, and they probably learnt that from previous generations, I would
think
say.
it could be lots of reasons. Some people like to feel useful. I like to feel useful. Some people, even it's difficult sitting with your thoughts. It's difficult, like having time, unstructured time, if you don't really know what you really want.
And
so
the thing is,
you need to go to work, earn the money, and then have the holidays and the experiences outside of work because you can afford to do that.
And none of this is wrong. It's just exploring, isn't it? And I suppose,
none of it's wrong.
Going back to the Reiki with these two ladies. I mean, thing is though, level 1 is all about themselves really, and I want that to be that. But I noticed neither of them have started their diaries yet, because it's online now, so I can see if they've logged on. So I shall poke them to see if they're going to do it. But it's about...
That's 2 listeners we might just have lost.
Yeah, they know I'm onto them. But where do you go from there? And that's what my spiritual mentorship is, so people who are just starting their journey, who don't understand their thoughts, like, why do I feel like that? Why am I feeling lost? And you're trying to get them to see where they want to be. What do you want to do? Maybe they've never had the chance to think about that. I mean, like for you, always looking after family, now I'm on holiday on my own with my dog, now what? And that's a new experience for you, and you've got to work out if there's something that you do like, want to do more of, or thought, well, actually I liked it, but I like doing other things as well. It's that time of exploring.
So do you see yourself a bit like a mirror then for this mentorship?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And in order to be that mirror, you have to know yourself, don't you? Because otherwise, when you're in the presence of someone else, you'll be reacting or responding to stuff that you recognise in them.
And I think sometimes you do get people who, trigger's the wrong word, but most people I see have had experiences that I've had. Because I've had relationships, I've been married, divorced, I've lived abroad, I've done lots of different things, family that have died, and I suppose that the people I get have had a similar ish in some way journey to me. Not always, but they can relate to me because they are a similar person to me. And I suppose what they're looking for is to see that I've survived through all this. So how can they? So I know, like when my dad died, and that was I can't remember now, so many years ago, 35 years ago. That time I was really lost, and I thought, now if only I'd had someone I could have talked to. But that time it was, oh, don't cry, don't let the children see you cry, or you'll soon get over that. And I thought, I'm never going to get over this, and I didn't think I ever would. But I realised I didn't have anyone to talk to about it, because nobody wanted to mention it in case I got upset, which I did a lot. It's okay to be upset, but I didn't know it was. So for me, that was a long while ago. I know I probably could have gone for counselling or bereavement counselling, but I didn't know it existed.
No.
So I think everything is more aware now, which is a good thing. It's about who do you talk to when your friends are fed up, mopping your tears up in effect, isn't it?
Is that what you were talking about, who you invite to your table?
Yes, yeah. So and also with friends, what friends do you have to your table? And I hear time and time again, well, I had to invite them because they're friends with the others. And I would question that, why do you have to? Or we have to do that, we've always done it, but why do you have to? So who do you want at your table? Literally, are your thoughts as well. What thoughts do you want at your table? Who are you going to invite in every day? And I know I don't use this language, but there's lots of Instagram posts about avoiding toxic people. I don't like that. Don't like that word. But it's about, if you don't feel comfortable with someone, why are you sharing time with them? Unless it's someone that you work with and you can't get away from that, and even that you have to question why you do that. But I don't understand, I suppose, why people continue to mix with people that they feel are toxic. I don't understand that.
Well, just stay at home like I do.
Yeah. Let people come to you.
But then when you go out in the world and you do find people, well, I think if you really have got to know yourself well and you know what you want and you know what you're putting out in the world, when you attract those situations, that's an invitation for you to look at what's going on, and it'll be something in you, otherwise they wouldn't have appeared.
Well, this is the law of attraction of old, and I really, really believe this, that I don't have to be perfect to help other people along their journey, but what I have to be is aware of when I'm not who I want to be. So when I can recognise that in me, I can say, it's okay that you do that and you don't like it, but how can you change that?
And for me, the role of a coach or a mentor is really important in that, because you can be one of the most self-aware people and still end up getting results that you don't want, or still having a life that you don't love. And you need someone to be able to
steer you.
And you need someone to, like, there are processes in the coaching that I do that make things visible that you think is just the way things are.
Ah, yes, that's the thing, isn't it?
It's the kind
just because they did it or it's been like that for years doesn't mean that you have to follow that pattern.
Or you don't even know that you're doing it.
No.
It feels that true.
Yeah.
It feels that, the things they always say, your greatest gift is the other side of your deepest fear, don't they? But you're never going to want to look at your deepest fear. You're going to resist that. And your whole setup, the whole structure of your setup will be to avoid looking at the thing that you don't want to look at. But if you can look at it with someone in the right environment, you might end up
sort of feeling safe, I guess. Maybe
you'll see the next layer, and it's not a one and done shop, is it?
No,
like we said at the
definitely
beginning, we're on a journey.
And
how much you're willing to look at and how much you're willing to go on the adventure,
trust
that intuition will determine, what the results are.
Well, that's one of the reasons I devised the mentorship programme, because I know I have a lot of people who come for 2 or 3 healings and I know that it benefits them deeply, but then they think, I'm all right now, and they don't come again. I think with healing work, people come till they don't, and that's my definite theory on that. Whereas with massage, they come regularly because they love that experience. But with healing work, they usually come in a bit of a crisis or not feeling right, come for a few, feel better, then you don't see them anymore until a year round and they're back where they were, because they don't put the work in for themselves, because they need encouragement. And I think sometimes when people are doing spiritual work, and I know this, I wouldn't say I lost friends, but people start to think you're more weird than you were before, and they don't want to associate with you. Or when I was single for a long while, some of my coupley friends, they didn't particularly want me there. So you sort of lose and form people, a sort of feeling of being lost, I suppose. So if you're starting to think differently to the people that you've normally spent time with, then what? This is the thing, isn't it? Do you just suddenly bin off all your friends? But what happens is they end up reconforming back. They don't want to, but that's what they do, because they want to fit in with those people. And I've done that. I've fitted in with people.
Well, I think it's a balance, isn't it?
Always a balance.
Trying new things is great, because you usually end up finding someone that you like along the way. But I do relate to what you're saying about friendships, and just for me, it has to come from like things that feel alive in you, things that you want to do, and looking at why you want to do them. And as long as you've checked it out, that you're not doing it to compensate for something that you think you're lacking in, then it's taking you forward on the adventure, isn't it? As long as you're not compensating for, not feeling good enough or all the rest. But that becomes not easy to discern, but it becomes more.
I do think that's, I always say to people, but you're noticing that you do that. I think when they notice, that's what can change it, is awareness, But I was talking to Sarah about being friends or having friends, and I think Mel Robbins has a really good podcast about friendships. I don't know if you've listened to that one. She said when you're at school though, friends are easy because you're all in the same place. So a lot of friendships is proximity. You're all doing the same thing, so that's how that is. Then you leave school and go to work, you're all in different places, and you're suddenly you may be with people that are a different generation that you don't really fit in with, and suddenly you're finding it harder to keep up with your old friends, and maybe you move and that's even more hard. And she said literally one time when she moved, she had to make herself go into the local cafe and say, hello, I'm Mel, who are you? And start talking to people, because she literally didn't have any friends. But the friends you meet perhaps when you're older aren't necessarily like the friendships you had at school. It's about what is a friend. And a friend can be a work colleague, I think. One of my very long-term friends who I meet up with probably once every 3 or 4 months, I met her in my 30s and we still see each other. I used to go to school with her daughter. So, you know, that's a sort of, but I've known her for years now, but we just meet up every 3 or 4 months and catch up. But yeah, so I think friends can be different to your school friends. It's about reassessing what a friend is, isn't it?
Well, my school friends,
Excuse me.
I'm going to cough too now. 2 school friends I still keep in contact with. And we've had phases where we've seen more of each other, probably for practical reasons more than anything, like where you live. She moved to Bristol, the other one now lives in Oxford. And children, what ages the children are.
The distance is definitely a deal breaker, isn't it?
Whether you've got compatible partners.
Yes, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
And the things that you become interested in over the years, you know.
Yeah.
But there's something, I really value those 2 friendships, because even though they don't probably see the world like I do, they've got that history.
They know you evolve. That's what I think. I've got one friend that
and even if
known
you know, I feel that I've changed, not massively, but they'll say things about you, and you're like, it connects you back.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
What they see in you now, you think you've changed, but actually you haven't really changed. You've just sort of a more developed version of who you used to be.
Well, I know at school I was a punk.
Oh, where were you?
My friend and I were punk rockers, and
you're in a phase now where your hair's
natural grey. But at school reunion, someone said, I always knew you'd do that sort of weird stuff because you're always weird at school. And I'm thinking, am I?
If only you'd listened to your friends all along.
But for a long while, I wasn't into any of it, you know. And someone said to me, like Crystal Hill, and I was like, you know, work with love. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I just didn't resonate with that at all. I was too busy having a husband and babies, you know. It just wasn't on my radar.
Would you have wanted to know?
No,
I played this question like that. Would you want to know how it's all going to end?
This is what I say when people ask for a card reading, and I said the thing is though, if you when you were born you knew your future. Like if I'd have known, I haven't had a traumatic life, but if I'd have known my life, would I have said I'll sign up for that?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't. You say no, I don't want that one. I want a different one. But I really believe life can be what you make it. So a bit like, you know, even when your children all leave home. You know, like my eldest daughter, she moved to Singapore. Did I want her to? Of course I didn't with my 2 grandchildren. But I've had to accept it. And some days is better than others. I'm used to it now. I wouldn't say I like it, but I'd never want her to ever do anything that she doesn't want to do.
But you'd have never developed the business and helped the number of people that you have.
This is the thing. So my children going away, I completely focused on me and my work. And that is what changed my world. So it's that sliding door thing, isn't it? Had she have been nearer, I may have looked after her children more. This is what my sister-in-law does with her children. Again, that's all a choice thing, isn't it? But yeah, but I do get to have adventures because I'm going out. I go over there fairly regularly. But I'm going again in September, and my other daughter comes to see me, and I have 2.5 weeks indulgent of being looked after.
That's back to your 3 of wands, isn't it?
Yes, and I love that. And I know when she first moved, people said, "Oh, better have nice holidays," and I was I offended? She went, no, that's not true. But I used to be offended by that comment, and I'd say, yeah, but I haven't got any money to go there. And I thought, stop saying that. Find a way to get the money to go, and that's what I chose to do.
Well, I'm definitely in that position with Christmas wanting to go see Gus in Australia. Yes. But it's a choice, isn't it? It's not necessarily a holiday. It's like if I don't go and see him, I won't know who he is.
No, that's the thing, isn't it?
He's not so great. He definitely won't listen to this podcast, so I'll say the same thing.
I do have a lot of video calls with mine, but my darling Milo, my grandson, he's 13 now, and he usually just goes past and goes, ugh. But I did actually have a conversation with him the other week because I think I felt sorry for him really because Emily was talking to me and then she had to go and do something with Aspen in the bar. So she said, Milo, Nanny's on the phone. And he went, I could see him going, hi Nanny, sort of pulling his face straight as he realised on the camera.
I hate that. I was talking to my uni friend yesterday and it was perfect time when she rang. I was on a dog walk, she was walking somewhere, but then she got to a destination where she was meeting her husband and she said, say hello to Harriet, Daniel. And you could tell when he came on the phone, he did not want to. He said, hello.
Yeah, I know, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
And I was like,
it's something that's all gone.
Killed it dead.
But I actually had quite a nice conversation with him because he was doing Legos, as best as he was doing that. So show him what you're doing. And then I asked him a few bits and pieces and he chatted a little bit. And then I had to go. I said, Mum, Nanny's got to go now. And he quickly whipped the phone back to Emily. But it was nice. But I know when I'm there, he will talk to me, and I don't have any expectations.
And you'll get things in common.
Oh, yeah. And it is, he was like my first little grandson. So yeah, but I do miss them. But you just, I don't know, you just fill your life, don't you? I don't want to live a life of regret for them or for what they've done,
But filling it with what I think is the interesting.
Yeah, pockets of joy.
That's the thing that the spirituality can bring you, isn't it? Just one
peace,
level,
isn't it?
one level deeper.
Yeah.
What do you want to fill your life with? And looking at, what makes you truly happy. And for me, being outside, wind blowing in my hair, nice and warm.
But to encourage people to do that, even if they can only do it for half an hour a day, that's changing how they feel, isn't it?
And often you don't know why you want. Often you don't know why you enjoy something, but you know that you enjoy it, or you enjoy it, and looking back, and then it's about trying to bring more of that. And it all comes from curiosity for me. Curiosity and awareness. Like, why did you enjoy that gong bath? What was it about that gong bath? Where could you find more of that in your life going forward? Because that helps. I know we talked about growing, I talked about that helps you evolve as a friend in that friendship.
Yeah.
But if you follow the things that are alive in you, that brings another level, like your soul grows.
The soul calling. Because the soul doesn't mind if you learn in this lifetime or the next or the next. It will just keep calling.
And when you were talking about all the different versions of your life that you could have had, would you have signed up for this one? I think your soul maybe has, I like the idea, and they talk about that your soul have themes.
Yes.
And you're here to learn maybe. You've come here, you've signed up to practice because you want to know more about compassion or kindness. Maybe. Or love, and they're usually quite simple. Yes, kind of
it's always simple, and we do complicate it. I think what I find interesting, I have had a client a long while ago, and he said that his only aim was to earn loads of money because he thought that would make him important. He said, and then he lost all the money in the crash in the 80s. He said, and then what I realised was that money wasn't important, and I was. He said, but I had to do all that to find that out. He said, if only I'd known, I could have just gone to the quick route and just loved myself as I was.
It sounds like he signed up for that. He sounds like he signed up for that experience for me.
Yeah, but speaking of clients, so I had a client this week that had a friend who had been to one of Harriet's days. I don't know what day it was, but one of your awareness days, should we say. And then they listened to the podcast, and so did he, and he liked the sound of the holographic healing, so he came to me for a healing. So that was interesting. And also we have a joint friend, Sarah, that you saw again this week, and she said that she listens to the podcast.
Sarah.
Hello, Sarah, giving you a shout
out.
So she's in Scotland. Hoke.
I think she said.
And so I've actually done some online courses with Sarah, and that worked really well because she sort of took into that. So she's done her sound course online, can you believe? But yeah, so she's, very brave. I really admire her. She just took herself to Scotland, and she's got a house there and everything. But you asked her, why does she listen to the podcast? And her answer was?
She said it's like she doesn't get enough chat like this, whatever that means. Maybe you can write in and tell us what you mean by chat like this. And she liked the fact that she felt like she was here with us having a cup of tea. So it was connection. It was connection to this kind of conversation, which again is all a spiritual daily thing, has to be, isn't it? Connecting yourself to that deeper part of yourself. Yeah. Which isn't surface level, isn't what your thoughts and your feelings are telling you is going on.
Definitely not. Feelings aren't irrelevant, but when you feel at peace, you don't have a feeling. It's weird, isn't it? I always think when I'm really enjoying something, like when I first get my cold dip in the morning, we've got this massive willow tree that I can see, and I call her Mother Willow. And I sort of do this weird thing, it's not weird, is it? But I do, I raise my arms up and I go, Mother Willow. I just look at this tree and I just think, wow, and it's just massive and it's waving in the wind, and I don't think of anything other than looking at that tree, and that is for me, I noticed that this morning, that I just re-noticed the tree. It's crazy.
Well, that sounds like presence to me, when you're merged with the moment, and it's not about you at all.
And I can sense the water on my skin, and I can feel it,
It's a multi-sense.
Very alive.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
A thing that words fail to really
describe that. I can't really, but But I noticed in the winter the willow obviously didn't have as many leaves on it, and I can remember as the season started to change, as I look at it every day, and it started to, look more beautiful, I suppose, because the leaves were starting to fall. That was nice. Mother Willow. I don't know why I call it that. Yeah, she's sort of willowy and nice. Yeah.
So do you want to tell us about your events that you've got coming up?
So I don't know what time we started. We didn't start. Hang on, can we see?
Well, we can talk. We don't have to talk for. Oh yeah,
we're up to that.
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to talk about at Worcester Festival, but we'll talk about another time because that's a whole new subject, isn't it? Anyway, but I got my little book. So, the 6th of August is Coltishall Gong Bath. That's tomorrow.
Is that Thursday?
That's
Thursday. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Gosh,
If you're about,
that'll be tonight.
if you're about for a lift and shift.
Lift and shift.
So 7th of August, Shelley and I are doing an outdoor sound bath at Ingham Village Hall.
Shelley's the lovely lady who helps you at the floating gong bath.
Yes.
For people who don't know who she is.
Yeah, Shelley is. And then the 12th of August, we have the drumming circle at Fairhaven. 15th of August is the Munsley Mind, Body and Spirit show. So do come along to that. And I've made Harriet do readings there.
Come to the seaside
Yes.
and get a tarot reading.
A spiritual day by the
cards.
sea. Yeah, so we'll be doing, there's lots going on. I've got lots of therapists, which I'm a bit, I don't
That's
know where I'm going to put them all, but
exciting.
it's lovely because I think a lot of mind, body and spirits don't have enough therapies there. And I know people want to, and Shelley's there, she's doing a multitude of things. She's doing Indian head massage or helicopter going over. Yeah, and there's a Reiki person, there's a sound healer, there's lots of, and we have someone doing holographic healing and lots of stuff going on there, and we have sellers as well, lots of different people. So the 15th of August I discovered there's lots of things going on, so in effect it's good, but I've got lots of different stalls because my regular ones had signed up to do the Chroma Fair, and it's fine, but they Chroma Fair changed their date, doesn't matter, does it? So there'll be lots of new people there.
Anyway,
do come along to that.
Munsley is a lovely place,
Lovely.
lovely little place
my
with
sister
lovely
lives there.
beach.
Really
so
nice.
you can have a great day.
And that's
on the 15th
free
of
to come
August.
in, yeah.
Free to come in.
And the 26th of August, another gong bath at Fairhaven, outdoor one, so that'll
Good
be
weather is ordered.
good weather is ordered for that, yeah. So I think we've wound our way around, but I want to look at the bottom tarot card because I always do.
I'd like to hope that people are having a really lovely summer.
Yeah, enjoying it.
And enjoying, although this weather is ongoingly hot.
It's balmy, isn't it?
And we need to perhaps think about what we're all doing that isn't exactly helping our Mother Earth.
Yeah.
But I hope you're having some time
enjoying it really.
to be outside and enjoying it and relax a bit because the winter will be here soon enough.
Oh yeah. So the last, I always pick the bottom card, and this one is the 6 of Swords, and it's about letting all your thoughts just float away on that boat. That's how I look at that.
You told me that this card. This card is about someone coming to help you. So considering we're talking about mentorship and coaching, get in touch.
Get
if
in
you're
touch.
interested.
Yes, it's all there for looking. Yeah, the Rider-Waite one is more obvious, isn't it? Yeah.
She's in a boat and then she's
got
like
people helping.
Yeah, she's
or
like
a man
coming away.
Yeah.
But also you're on the journey and the shore is closer than you think.
Oh, definitely.
And that red shawl that she's wearing.
Yeah, it's for grounding. It was a bit of grounding. There we go. So, yeah, until next time. I've got to press another button now, which is over here. Bye for now. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'd love you to get in touch with us. Our email address is kitchentablechat88@gmail.com. We welcome your questions or even suggestions for future topics. Also, please share this episode with those that you think may be interested. Thank you for listening. Until next time.